everyone, I'm Brendan Bell and welcome to MXTV. We've got a very, very special guest, Alda Baker from the Baker's Factory. Mate, you're joining us for the show today. It's going to be an absolute ripper too.
Well, it's great to be here and great to be around you guys and looking forward to the show, man.
Mate, I'm excited to put you through the trenches this time, mate. We're going to get you through the ringers, ask some hard questions.
I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever you got, man. It's been too long, so let's get on with it.
We'll do that, mate. Let's look at our first segment. It's the KX450 2019 model. It's all brand new. Let's go and check out the launch. Well, here we are at the Island Action Sports Complex. What a complex this is too. It's a fantastic venue for motocross riding, and we're here for the 2019 KX450 launch. With me is a marketing manager, Rob Walker from Kawasaki. Rob, welcome, mate.
Thanks, Brendan. How are you going there?
Oh, mate, I am absolutely ecstatic. There's a little bit of mud out there today. Well, a lot of mud out there today, unfortunately, but this new KX450, how good is it? It's brand new.
Well, we're pretty excited by it, of course. It's an all-new model for 2019. This is our first electric start motocross bike. It's our first bike with a hydraulic clutch as well, so we've got all new technology going on. Got some new technology with the engine, got some what we call finger followers. We do this sort of action with some finger followers going on. That makes the engine spin up a lot quicker. We've got a lot more horsepower coming through as a standard bike as well. Got a whole new ergonomics. Chassis is all new. We've got the flattest motocross bike we've ever had out there as well.
The things that really stand out for me is obviously the engine with that new technology. That's from World Superbikes technology, and you guys are the leaders in the World Superbikes as well. Absolutely amazing to have a hydraulic clutch that is self-adjusting as well. No more worrying about it fading, and especially out here we've had some good riders on the bike that have been quite strong on the clutch, and they've come back and noted that it's very easy to ride and the clutch hasn't given way on them at all.
So there was a bit of publicity about the previous sort of forks going on there, so we've listened to what the community says, what the riders have said. The factory's gone back to some coil springs, and I think there's going to be a good thing. A bit easier for people to adjust and work with.
What a bike this new 2019 KX450 is. Even in this sloppy stuff, with the power of the delivery that this has, and I've got the black coupler in it, so it's a little bit tamed down, which makes it a little bit easier to ride through this stuff. There's no lag in the engine. The clutch is always there. You only need a tiny bit of clutch to get the engine revved up. Once that engine revs up, boy, this thing just lights up and goes. The suspension on it, the front forks are amazing now that they've got the Showa spring. They're an A-kit fork. Feels like my 250 to grab onto. I really, really, really like this bike. I don't know how many reelies I can put in there, but I enjoy this bike a lot. I can't wait to put some more time on it, ride it on a track that's not as muddy as this and a track that I know, and I know I'm going to come away with an even bigger smile because this thing is a hit for 2019. I love electric start. You guys have really listened to the consumer.
Right.
The consumer's pointed you in the right direction, do you feel?
Yep, absolutely. Look, there's a lot of talk about what the next stage in our motocross bikes are, and the new KX450, that's the one. It's going to be there for a few years. We're expecting it to be the best on the market.
Can't wait for Lee to have a ride on it, and he's not here today.
Look, I suppose the other important thing, as you mentioned, has got the DFI couplers, the 3 different sorts there, so that'll take care of about 90% of riders out there. And if you really want to tune up your bike to the next level, you can get an accessory FI calibration kit, and that can remap your bike to suit what you really want for yourself there. So it's completely adjustable from just the ergonomics right through to the mapping. It's a good thing.
Well, we've got one for a long term. We're going to be playing around with this quite a fair bit. I'm putting it on a dyno. I'm going to be doing a lot more riding this year. My son says so. So we're going to be out there riding it a bit, and Lee will get on it and he'll tell us what a pro thinks of these bikes, because they're damn good for just an average guy like me. Looking forward to spending some more hours on this bike. Thanks again for a great day.
It's been a great day so far. I think everyone's had a great time. Everybody's still on board. You can still hear the bikes in the background. We're still working. It's been a good day. Thanks, Brendan.
I'm about to get out there again too. Now let's take a closer look at Suzuki's RMZ 450. Okay, all you serious four-stroke owners out there, here's a tip to keep your engine in tip-top condition. So next time you change your engine oil, why not consider the Modal 300V? It's their top-of-the-range engine oil. The 300V is 100% synthetic racing lubricant. Double ester technology means the oil will stick to your engine, so that on startup the metals aren't rubbing together. You'll have an oil barrier to protect your engine, and the 300V is designed for high revving engines just like your four-stroke. So get out to your local dealer and check it out. In today's product review, we're going to have a look at the TCX Evo 2 boot. Now, I've had these TCX Evo 2s for a couple of months now, and I've done a few rides in them. The big thing that I've found about these boots is the quality of the make. They're Italian made and they're made fantastic. Everything fits very well. The buckles are easy to put on and easy to get off, and also easy to adjust. Now, that's a big thing with boots, and they've got a lot of adjustability. You can adjust the shin pads in them if you want to, if you've got bigger calves, or you've got knee braces that are a little bit larger, so you can accommodate and fit that easily. Now let's talk about these soles. They're a Michelin sole and they are unbelievably grippy. In some cases, maybe a little bit too grippy, but you never have too much grip on a bike, do you? I found that I can grab the bike a lot easier with these boots. They've got some great rubber insoles up the inside of the boot that helps you grab onto the frame of your bike. I think the main thing is the construction on these boots is fantastic. It's A1, and I think longevity of these boots is probably going to last. I'll get back to you later on and tell you how they last in a couple more months. With premium quality and superb comfort, fit and protection, the Trace glove from that great European brand Magna. Now, the thing I like about the Trace glove is it's a cross between a road bike and dirt bike glove. Probably leaning more towards the dirt bike glove, but these sliders that they have, the polyurethane slider, is quite a good idea if you do come off, and the finger impact protection at the top of them, they're quite good too. They're a very comfortable glove, something that I think you could do a lot of Ks in, no worries whatsoever. I like them because I like dirt bike gloves, and I know that there's protection there as well. Now, these are a glove I would think you'd wear in the summertime. I don't think they're a winter glove, that's for sure, because they're quite thin on top, letting a lot of air through, but that's great for summertime. They're available at all your local dealers, or check out the gloves at the website linkint.com.au.
Is your family like my family? Upset, sad, disappointed? We can fix that, and just in time for Christmas too. Turn that frown upside down with some MXTV merchandise. Get Dad a stubby holder, and there's an MXTV shirt for all the family. And hold it on.
Welcome back to MXTV. Well, Eldon, we're next to Marvin's bike here. You do a lot of training with him. The last 3 years you've been with him, is that right? Or
Yeah,
four?
actually 4.
4 years,
Yeah.
That's right. How's he going along with his training?
Good. No, it's coming along. I mean, obviously in this sport there's a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
But Marvin I've had since he was on the 250.
Yeah.
You know, so seeing the evolving Marvin,
Yes.
moving up through a rookie year, 450, and now, you know, I feel he's at the right time now where he's had some experience on the 450. Obviously there's some struggles, and it's like any rider, you're always looking for the little kinks that you're trying to iron out. In Supercross, one area we know that we've been working on, and I felt it was getting better and better throughout the latter part of the season, was the whoops.
Yep.
And we've been doing you know, specific training, analyzing areas that we can help him and he can be better. And the good thing with Marvin is, you know, he applies himself. He has a great attitude, he's committed, and he sure does apply himself. So actually, Marvin's a pleasure to work with. And well, in fact, I think you guys have got an interview with Marvin.
We have, so let's go and see it right now. Joining us now is somebody everybody knows, Marvin Musco. Marvin, welcome to MXTV, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
Marvin, first up, let's ask you a viewer's question from Jeremy. He's asked, what's the difference between the heat, the competition and the lifestyle with the States and Europe?
Well, there's so many things. Obviously, I love it here because we have the Supercross series and the Motocross series. So And it's the biggest championship supercross in the world. And in Europe, you have a few supercross races, but it's mainly the MXGP World Championship.
Lifestyle-wise, much of a difference for you, especially from France to here? I know the food's a big difference, but you would do a lot of cooking at home, I'd imagine.
Yes, exactly. Mathilde is really taking care of me on the diet and making sure I eat the right thing and getting ready for each day, practicing and going to the races. So we got really acclimated to obviously the country now, and with the shopping, food and lifestyle, and obviously it's all about motocross and waking up and doing the cardio, going to the track and doing the work. So besides motocross, obviously we don't do much, but we're loving it now right now, and we obviously travel a lot and we race every single weekend and not much weekends off.
Well, with that, what do you prefer, supercross or motocross?
To be honest, it's hard to really pick supercross or motocross. I kind of want to say supercross, but you race 17 rounds supercross, so that's a long championship. Yeah. Then you move to outdoor and you have 12. So yeah, you're happy when you move out to outdoors, and then you're happy when you get back to supercross. So it's good to mix it up.
And here comes Marvin Muskin.
If there was a young rider out there, what's the best advice you could give a youngster?
Well, I feel like today you got to be really focused on what you're doing, and I know now it's difficult, especially when you started really young. Unfortunately, yeah, it's hard to have fun outside, you know what I mean, dirt bikes. Yeah. And you really have to be focused on your program, have a strong program. Do the cardio, do the work, do your motos and practice technique and stuff. And I feel like, yeah, when I was young, I was only thinking about dirt bikes and also girls, you know what I mean? It's a good thing I met Mathilde. I was 14 years old and I knew that was the one, and I fell in love. So I was not distracted, you know? So that's also one thing that is tough when you're young. Obviously you want to have fun and do other things, but yeah, you got to put in so much work because everybody works really hard, and then the level now is getting really high. And when I keep on watching the European Champion to try to see who's coming up, and it's nice. It's nice to see the progress of those younger kids, and hopefully they make it to what they dream of, you know?
Marvin, thank you very much for your time, mate. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Now let's have a closer look at the Thor Prime Pro gear. It has an athletic cut for a performance-orientated fit and feel. It's extremely lightweight to reduce hindrance and fatigue. The material promotes flexibility and durability, and it's the only pant on the market with an inner compression short. It really is Prime Pro for the pro rider. 50 with Jeremy McGrath.
The all-new 2019 KX450 motorcycle was designed with one thing in mind: to put riders on top of the podium. Ergonomics have been updated throughout the KX450, creating a oneness with the bike like never before. Foot pegs have been updated to be wider, helping to provide more boot traction, especially when landing on jumps or riding through ruts. The more comfortable you feel, the more power you can use to help reduce lap times.
Welcome back to MXTV, thanks to Modal. Eldon, one of the guys that isn't here, unfortunately, is Jason Anderson. Now, I was at home watching the Supercross series while he was racing, and the hair started to get a bit unruly. He's got a bit of a beard going on. I'm thinking, I don't think Eldon's going to like that.
No, I wasn't too impressed with Samson.
Samson, is that what you called him?
Yeah, I mean, I think he was relying maybe a little on the hair as the strength, but actually there's a bit of a story behind that. His mechanic, CeeLo, is a little superstitious. Okay. And as the season developed, he was the one that said, hey man, you don't mess with your beard, your hair, that's just something. So we kind of joked about it and kind of let it go. At least Supercross season, it's pretty cold.
Yeah.
So, you know, we kind of let that slide, and then I was going to catch him after Vegas and give it a serious trim. So
was that was a bet that you guys had? If you won it, you were allowed to cut his hair?
I was going to do him and obviously CeeLo the mechanic.
So both of them let themselves go?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it looked rough, but you know, a lot of people, I mean, kind of liked it because it's pretty unique and different, and definitely Jason has his own way and his own charisma, and that's what makes Jason. So in a way, hey man, you know, we kind of joke in that. The only thing is, I know as you can feel when you come out to the outdoor season, there's no way you want that extra heat.
Yeah.
You know, so
He'll
yeah,
cut it.
He'll cut it. Yeah.
You
for
missed
sure.
him too with cutting his hair, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, he had an issue at the press conference, and then actually had a stomach problem and had to go to hospital.
Oh.
Which I told him, I said, now that's one hell of a way to avoid the haircut.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Anyway.
Well, let's go and have a look at the next bike review we've got in store for you. In today's bike review, we're having a look at old reliable, the DRZ 400. Now we know Suzuki haven't made many changes to this bike in the last few years. Bold new graphics is one of them. But this is a lot different. They've put the bike down to Chad at Chad's Off-Road. Now Chad's done a few modifications that I would think for the enduro rider out there or the trail bike rider, these are the modifications you might want to make to your stock standard DRZ 400 and really turn it in to that sweet enduro bike. Now rather than me go through the changes, let's see what Chad's got to say.
Just getting it, a few things we've done to get it sorted out, make it a little bit more dirt worthy. The tyres we've fitted onto the DRZ are the MX32 on the front, and then the Extra X has gone on the rear. The protection we've put on the bike, both as the Suzuki bash plate and radiator braces, are hard parts catalogue items from Suzuki. Great all-round protection, still allow plenty of airflow through the radiators. And then the other thing we've also been working on is obviously ergonomics of the bikes with some rental bars and rental grips as well. Basically with the suspension, what we've done, we've gone through service and revalved both ends. What we've done with the valving is we've given a little bit more control in the fork with what we call a speed sensitive mid valve in the fork. With the shock, what we've done is given a little bit more high speed control in the shock. So basically on the bigger hits, it'll just hold itself up a bit. And basically what you've got is a shock that's a little bit more racy. And the other thing is also with the rear shock is getting the back of the bike to hold up better. So it actually makes the bike steer a lot better.
Well, I've just come back from riding the DRZ 400. The lounge chair of the bush is what I call this thing. Of course, that's all changed now because Chad's made some modifications to the suspension and also the front forks with revalving. So what does that actually mean? Well, it still has the DRZ plushness. It's still nice and plush, but what the suspension now does is it just sits up so it drives through everything. If you want to turn, it turns a lot sharper. Now, also what helps that is these tyres. With the Pirelli MX32 mid-soft at the front, that thing makes it turn and grip. And of course with the Extra at the back, you still got that grip, but the beauty about the Extra X is that it lasts a lot longer. You're going to get a few more rides out of that back tyre with still enough grip to ride around in a bush like this. What does it mean taking one tooth off the front sprocket of this bike? Sure, you get a lot more bottom end, so that means you've got a bit more drive coming out of the corners, but what I found is it actually revs out a lot quicker. So you're going through gears a little bit quicker. You can actually run it in probably a gear higher and maybe give it a bit of clutch and you can walk around the bush, no worries like that. Open it up and this thing still gets going. It certainly is, but a little bit easier to ride in the bush. You still got that DRZ plushness. It just smashes through things. It's so much fun. And it's ideal for things like this. You do a little bit of sort of single trail and then you come on and do a bit of roads. Putting the Renthal handlebars on it. Look, I like this bend that they've got on here. It makes it more comfortable. That's about all that it does. Could you ride with the stock bars? Of course you can. But these bars are probably going to hold up a little bit more if you do have an accident in the bush. They won't bend and you won't feel so uncomfortable riding back home. Now the Suzuki OEM bash plate that they've put on the bike, that works fantastic. It's going to obviously give the engine a lot more cover. The one thing you notice about this though is when you hit a stick or a rock, you hear that bash plate. It really is loud. There's no doubt about that, but you know it's doing its job. One thing I do to it is get the carby dialed in as well. That'll be the next thing, is really get that carby tuned in. Go to your local carby tuner and get it sorted. So the DRZ 400 is Australia's highest selling dirt bike, and there's a reason for that. They are absolutely value for money, a great bike. But in saying that, if you do get your hands on one, I highly recommend making the modifications that we've made to this bike. It really does step it up that notch. and it's not a lot to spend on it to make it just that little bit better bike than what it already is. All right, well, that wraps it up for MXTV this week. Of course, our special guest, Alden, thanks very much for coming along, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Hey, Brendan, it's always great to see you guys, and thank you to MXTV, and really appreciate you taking the big trip to come on down here. And we look forward to the next one, and I think it's time for you to hold it on.
Yes, that's exactly right, guys. We'll see you guys next week, but don't you forget, Alden, what are we doing?
Hold it on!